Good morning. Welcome to the Bird's Nest. Please like, comment, and subscribe for all your NFL recaps, news, and updates, and gossip. So, still watching the Browns. I tried not to watch, but I can't remember what game was I watching? Oh, I started out watching the Jets, trying to watch Justin Fields to see how he does, and that wasn't a good game. And then I switched to another game, I can't remember what it was, and that wasn't a good game. And let me think, was I hearing something? I don't know, I must have been hearing something on Twitter that said, okay, let me check out the Browns. I didn't want to watch them. Look, Joe Flacco is what I always thought he was. It was so funny to me over the offseason how sold on Flacco Cleveland fans were, talking about what he did 2 years ago. Look, are y'all ignoring his whole career because of what he did in a 4-game stretch 2 years ago? Which was his best stretch in years. But everybody just assumed as soon as they signed Flacco that Flacco should be the starter. Kevin Stefanski, I believe, wanted Kenny Pickett to be the starter, but everybody thought it should be Flacco. Mr. Not getting any reps, Flacco. Mr. 40-year-old Flacco. Mr. hasn't played a whole season in 8 years, Flacco. Everybody wanted him. It was the general consent, and these commentators, I don't even listen to them. On ESPN, I don't listen to those guys on network, or it might not be network TV, it might be cable. These guys on TV. The ones that I liked went off the air, what's his name? Acho's show. I can't remember the name of it. I like that show. They got former players on it, and they had Shady. Is that his name? It had Shady on there, and he speaks his mind. That's all I want. I want somebody that speaks the mind, doesn't toe the corporate line, say what everybody else. That's what ESPN does. They say what everybody else is saying. So I don't watch them, because they just have talking points, and I don't even get the impression that most of those guys even watch the games. Especially Stephen A. Smith. That boy ain't got time. He too busy. He ain't watching no games. So, but they all were saying it. As soon as he got signed, Joe Flacco was number one. I said Joe Flacco not getting any reps. He doesn't need them. He's number one. He knows the plays. Put Joe out there. He gives us the best chance to win. He wasn't even doing good in OTA's mandatory minicamp on the rare occasion that Stefanski gave him reps. I guess trying to preserve his body, he wasn't doing well. Shador and Dylan were outperforming him. So, Joe looked crazy out there last night. Yesterday. He looks slow. He looks 40. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Well, Kevin Stefanski said in the presser, he ain't gonna do nothing. Joe gonna be starting again next week, stinking up the place. The offense, he is not motivating them. He's not inspiring them. They are not. Hopefully this is not their best. Is this their best? I hope this isn't their best. Quinshawn did well. I don't have his exact stats, but he got plenty of miles. Miles. Plenty of yards rushing yesterday. He looked great, especially for that to be his first game, and he hasn't been in practice. He missed all of training camp. Yeah, because the thing happened in the break before training camp. and he looked good. So that they got something there. So okay, now you got something on your run game, and plus Dylan Sampson isn't terrible either. So you got a little run game going on there. Okay, you got something in place there. But Joe is not going to take you anywhere. So I'm expecting them to start 0-6. I don't know what's going to happen after that, but I already thought they were going to be no more than 1-5. But they needed to beat the Bengals. That was the one they could beat, and they didn't beat them. So 0-6, I think they're going to start. I don't know how long Stefanski's going to keep him in there. One more week at least. They did put Dylan in, let him get some garbage time reps, and he did get a touchdown. Fantastic for him. Against none of the starters were in the game by that point because they beat them, of course, like a redheaded stepchild. They were no match for the Ravens. I didn't expect them to be. I don't expect them to beat any of these playoff caliber teams that they got coming up in the next 1, 2. They got 4 more weeks. 4 more weeks of playoff teams in this gauntlet. So I think they're afraid to put the rookies out there, for one, because Dylan is QB2. And I'm happy for that. Dylan's QB2, and I think that they're afraid. They are literally afraid to put Dylan out there and have him look bad. But I don't know if Kevin Stefanski can afford to lose 14 games this season. Can he? Is Haslam going to be okay with that? Because I know y'all thought y'all wanted to tank for a quarterback next year, but now this quarterback class that these commentators claim was so elite, they ain't even mid. You thought you were going to get Arch Manning. You were going to tank for him. All this tank. You still want to tank for Arch so that you can keep losing? So you're already bad in the coaching, and now you want to add a bad quarterback? Well, you already got that in Joe Flacco. You already got that. So it'll be, I'll tell you one thing about the Browns. They are interesting to watch. I mean, I love when they lose. So I don't even have to be mad about that. But they are interesting to watch because they do very interesting things. It never works out for them, but they keep doing it. So we'll see. Dylan got his touchdown in garbage time, doing the same things that Kevin Stefanski keeps doing. I don't know if Kevin Stefanski needs to keep calling plays. He keeps doing the short passes. That's what he's doing. No yards. Flacco, once again, 45 passes for 199 yards. So that's Kevin's doing. Those little short passes. We've been seeing it ever since preseason. They told me that Kevin likes to run, I be trying to go along with what y'all saying. Kevin likes to run complex plays. That's what y'all said. That's what they said in the offseason. This is me listening to Browns media. They're the ones that said it. He likes to run complex plays. Where they at? Maybe he does like to run complex plays, but he doesn't. One thing that they for sure do, we keep talking about Shedeur this, Shedeur that, Shedeur the other. Not only are they telegraphing that they think, or they want us to think they think Shedeur's trash. I know they know he's not trash, but they want us to think they think that he's trash. Not necessarily for his play on the field, although he's got things to work on, and I guess at this point I highly doubt they're working on it with him. But at the whiteboard, that's where he's trash. He's trash there. At the whiteboard, he's trash. That's what they say. So that's what they put out. And so the fans have no faith in him. And the local media have no faith in him. But they ain't just doing it to him. They're doing it to Dylan too. They're doing it to Dylan too. So the local media just says they done wrote them off. Sight unseen. Local media has written off Dylan and Shedeur. Or actually, so now we get to watch the tide turn. Actually, they had written them off because that's how the Brown portrays it. I ain't never seen a team to downplay their own players as much as the Browns do Dylan and Shedeur. Now, they invested the whole farm in Dylan, trying to develop him. And then, obviously, after all that they put into him, they don't think he's him. And they scared to play him. Kevin's scared to play him because of all that he put into him. Dylan needs to go out there and really ball out. They've invested a lot in him. They treated him like a first-round pick. But now they scared to play him. And even the fans are scared to see him. Because even before they didn't think that Dylan was him, they didn't think Shedeur was him. Because of the team putting out that narrative that he's not him. And so now I think that they're like literally afraid that Dylan will get out there and look bad. And then, damn, now we got to watch Shedeur. Damn it, what if he's good? Then we got to deal with him. We got to keep him. We got to, like, they don't want to like Shedeur. It's so crazy. But we'll see what happens. We'll get this. Stefanski said he done already committed on Sunday that he gonna keep old man Joe out there running in slow motion. They're gonna keep old man Joe out there. He's gonna keep throwing them short passes. Maybe it'll work against somebody one day. Maybe they play the Saints. Let me look on their schedule and see how many bad teams they play. I'm gonna check that out, because that's their only chance to win. People like the Saints, maybe Miami. I don't even think they can beat the Giants. I don't think they can beat the Giants. Vikings struggling with their brand new quarterback. He's not a rookie, but their brand new quarterback in his second year, J.J. McCarthy. Maybe they could beat him. I would like to see. I hope Shedeur gets some starts this year. If Kevin Stefanski keeps Joe Flacco out there, then Haslam must have asked him to do that and said, okay, and if we keep losing, your job won't be on the line. Like, what other reason would he continue to keep playing Joe Flacco? I told y'all, Joe Flacco wasn't nobody's starting quarterback, and neither was Kenny Pickett, and y'all have both of them and giving them value and pretending that Shedeur didn't drop in the draft for his conduct and not his play. And y'all still keep pretending it, and I just look and chuckle. I just chuckle because I know that he's getting out there eventually. And he's going to show you what he got. He's going to show you. And all those things that I don't believe they're working with him on, it's going to come back to bite him unless he works on it on his own. And the problem with working with it on your own is that you don't have a team. He needs to be pressured and then to respond correctly. So I don't believe they're developing him. I don't think they know how to develop him. You know, Caleb Williams said this about the Bears. He was expecting development. He was expecting them to give him ideas and suggestions and teach him. And he said they did none of that. So that goes to show the Bears. They did it with him, and they probably did it with Justin Fields too. And I think the Browns are one of those teams also. They don't develop people. They don't know how to develop people. Kevin Stefanski, they don't even know how to stop Kevin Stefanski playing calling these basic plays. They don't have a handle on any of it. So I'm not expecting anything there. But I did watch my Michael Penix yesterday, and I know everybody thought it was a boring game because they weren't scoring touchdowns, but I was pleased. You know, Atlanta, Mike kept getting them down the field, getting them close enough for a field goal. Couldn't get them in that ding-dang end zone. But they got those field goals. I think they got 3 field goals before they scored a touchdown. That works for me. Mike looks solid to me. So I'm excited to be watching him this year. I didn't see Cam. You know what? I didn't even hear about Cam. Oh, yeah. I know Cam had one good throw. I saw that. And I think I tried to watch it. I don't know. Cam had one good throw yesterday. That had him trending number 1 for a second. I think ultimately they lost. But at least he had a very lovely touchdown pass yesterday. That's all I can say about that. Russell Wilson was on fire yesterday. He passed for over 400 yards, 4 touchdowns. And that still wasn't enough to win. I can't even remember who they were playing. I can't remember. But it was a high-scoring game. They lost in overtime. And I recorded the game. I record games, but then when I know the outcome, I don't be wanting to watch them. So I don't think I'm going to watch them. I still want to see that Bills game. The Bills won, of course. But Keon didn't have as many targets as last week. He got the ball out last week late. I started watching that game. I'm to the 3rd quarter. Keon has not started balling out yet. I'll tell you something. I told you guys that I watched the Bills all last season for Keon. And it worked out for me because I was watching also Russell Wilson. But luckily I guess, Russell was injured in the beginning of the season, and so that gave me all those weeks to be able to watch Keon and the Bills. And as good as Keon is, and Keon is clearly good, Josh doesn't target him a lot. He'll target him in emergency situations. He's getting ready to be sacked. He'll throw the ball a wild ball to Keon. Barely a pass. Just to get rid of the ball. That's the type of thing he was doing with Keon last year. So, and then he was icing him out that one game, and then Keon got benched the following game because of him being late to meetings. So, I don't know if Josh is not crazy about Keon, but yesterday Keon got he got 3 completions for a very low number of yards. But then Josh does have this thing where he says everybody eats. So he likes to throw the ball. He claims he likes to throw the ball to multiple different targets, but really he'll have like 2. Last year it was Khalil Shakir. He's got to still be there because he was one of Josh's favorite targets and it was good, right? And then Cook, same names that I was hearing before. So they get a lot of targets and Keon doesn't. I don't know what the deal is with that, but they keep winning regardless. As I told y'all, the Bills are so deep at wide receiver and tight ends. They just keep winning. So they won. So, those are my little quick recaps for from yesterday, I guess I'm going to keep watching the Browns because they are entertaining. I get a good laugh out of Joe running in slow motion. He's a vet. Of course, he's QB1. Oh, and then the stupid thing about them trying to put out this story about Shedeur not wanting to go to the Ravens. I was waiting to hear from a veteran on that. Asante, is his last name Samuels? He addressed it, but he didn't dive into it like I needed him to. He only said that it made sense that he wouldn't want to sit behind Lamar Jackson because he would never start. Only in garbage time like Dylan got last night would Shedeur be able to start, and that means you're playing against lesser players all the time. There's no development in that. So of course it was the right thing to do, but the guest that the co-host that was on with Asante said, I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know that you could veto the draft, a draft pick, or being drafted to a certain team. And Asante just said, yeah, you can. I mean, they don't have to honor it, but yeah, you could get the word out that you don't want to be there, and then they'd be like, well, if you don't want to be here, we don't want to have somebody that doesn't want to be here. I'm interested to see what the Browns media says today, because what they gonna say? They can't have nothing bad to say. He chose y'all. He wanted y'all. He wanted to be a Brown, not a Raven. So what you gonna say about him? You gonna call him trash for wanting to come to your team? And at least having a chance to start? The only thing that stops Shedeur from starting this season is if Dylan Gabriel gets out there and turns out to be first 2 seasons in the NFL, Russell Wilson. And in my humble opinion, that's the only time that Russell was good. First 2 seasons. And I don't even know if he was good. He had a good team. Very good team those first 2 years. Legion of Boom. So that is the only thing that should happen to keep Shedeur off the field, is that Dylan gets out there and turns out to be the guy. Him. I don't expect that to happen, just like I didn't expect Joe Flacco to be good, because we guys, we were there through training camp, OTAs, rookie minicamp, mandatory minicamp. We were there. And we know how people were doing. And we know how Dylan was doing. And we know that he was not impressing anyone that was looking at those practices. He was horribly inconsistent daily. Like they say, Justin Fields, one day he'll be good, the next day he'll be bad. One day good, and in the same day, Dylan will be up and down and up and down. So I'm not expecting anything there based on what I saw in the preseason. But let's get it going. Joe isn't the guy. Let's get it going. Let's see what you made happen with this guy that you invested so much in. Let's see. Because after him comes Shedeur. Shedeur's no backup. And that's what you're going to see. That's what they're going to see in Cleveland. If they allow it to happen, what they're going to see is that Shedeur is their best quarterback. I don't know if that means he's the answer at quarterback, but he's the best quarterback that they have right now, for sure. So we'll see. That's that, my little recap. Y'all have a good day. Thanks for tuning in. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks, guys. Mwah.